sent me a message. I said that I'd be on standby if she needed me, but she just said it hasn't stopped for the last hour, and
Fantastic.
she doesn't want me to go down and it go quiet, but right now they're struggling because there's only 2 of them.
That's great news. Go rescue. That's brilliant.
Okie dokie. Well,
We're now recording, and I'll hand over to Alex to do the screen share.
Okie dokie. I've got all of next week off work, so for the next 10 days straight, I'm completely free.
Okay, cool.
Thanks for your lockdown, so
I'll check my availability because I've got some work this week, and I'll refresh it, make sure it's right. But otherwise, I'll let you boys once again organise when it's going to be. Just let me know.
Yeah, we'll do.
Sweet, nice one, Mike.
Okie.
Well done for getting a new laptop. That's a real commitment to your future, because I know that you used up your savings, but if you want to be a programmer, you have to have the environment to do it. So that's awesome commitment. Yeah,
I wish my bank account thought so.
Hey?
I wish my bank account thought so.
Don't worry, it will do when you're earning the big bucks.
Hopefully. Right, see you later, guys.
Yeah.
My tests don't seem to be working either.
Okay. Well, Alex, yours are working now, right?
1 second, checking.
Okay, let's have a look at fixing up phrases then, if we fixed up yours. Have you heard back yet, phrase from the Olympic dudes?
Not yet. The 19th of November
19th,
is...
okay. I will forget that, so do keep us posted when you're here.
I will.
Be good to know.
Do you want me to share my screen? No.
Well, if yours is working, I know you've probably got failing tests because we haven't finished the work yet, but let's make sure we get phrases running as well. Let's have a look at phrases screen.
Oh, phrase. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Just share. So if I just do that one.
Oh, we've got one build error.
Yeah.
All right, so let's have a look at the build error, which I suspect if you double click it, it will take you to it. Let's scroll up a little bit on that bottom window. Yeah, I'll double shake that. Double click that one.
Is there namespace list?
Yeah, that's because you've got a lowercase l.
Oh,
okay, so what it's saying is that that type doesn't exist, and it's literally just because you've slipped up there with the
where was that in?
DiceShaker.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, and
I did. I tried capitalizing it before, but it didn't do anything.
Okay. I can tell you why. Let's mouse over it. Okay, so it's saying the namespace list could not be found. Are you missing a using directive or an assembly reference? So the using directives you can see at the top.
Yeah.
Using system. And it says show potential fixes. So click on that. And it's offering you that as its best potential fix. So you click that and you'll see that appear at the top of the file.
Okay. And then
cool. So that's added in a reference to that library. Okay.
Okay. What
good stuff? What
library is in the library to the list?
Yeah. So the list class is defined in system collections generic.
Yeah.
Which isn't one of our classes and isn't one of our bits of source code. So that should now build and run.
Yep. And that test has failed, like it
Test
should.
has failed. Okay, so the assert is oh, which test has failed? Our doubles when
Shaker has dice. Assert is not
oh,
null.
okay, cool. So the test is check that it isn't null. So it's failing, so it means it's null.
Yeah.
So let's go and have a look at your DiceShaker class. So we're deliberately writing a failing test first, right? I know we've only half written the class that we want, so we write our test to try and prove that we're fixing it. So let's go to DiceShaker, that's it. And now in the constructor, which I'm going to let you see if you can figure out which one is the constructor.
This bit?
Yeah, perfect. Okay, and you'll see, look, we've already done something similar. We defined that there's a slot for first dice, then we've added one, and a slot for second dice, and we've added it. And we've also now got a slot for our, oh, wait a minute. Where's your list of, there it is, yeah, okay. So now what we want to do is something similar to you've got on line 11 and 12.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you figure it out.
This dot list dice?
This dot dice. Okay, and as you hit the space bar, oh, hang on, backspace through that, through the D6 part. As you press space, it should offer you some, brilliant. So just hit
okay.
tab or enter.
Yeah.
Okay, and you still need the earrings.
Oh, earrings, okay.
Yeah. So these angle brackets, and without worrying too much about the language I use here, the angle brackets are saying my list will have D6s in it.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a list of strings, a list of integers, but we're making it a list of D6. All right, let's run that bugger.
Yeah.
That should have passed.
I'll just run it again. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes in there. Yeah, so it passed.
Okay, great.
That's good.
Sweet. So now we've got a list for taking more dice. So to make this truly useful and decide how many dice we want, when we create our DiceShaker, we want to pass in the number of dice that we want in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's now go and add. All right, let's head to DiceShaker. And what we're going to do now is create a parameter for line 9. So
Okay.
line 9 is the constructor for the class. And
yeah.
What you may recall me saying, but probably don't, is that the constructor is where we initialize our class. And you can see you're already doing that. You're creating some dice and you're creating a collection. But we're going to slowly change this code now. When we have our game or our unit test and we create a DiceShaker, I want to tell it how many dice it's got.
Mm-hmm.
So we do that by adding a parameter in the earring brackets on line 9. We just want int. So inside there, type int for the type, and then space. A sensible name would be number of dice.
All in one.
Yeah, but actually, because it's a parameter, the first n should be lowercase. All right, that's good. And now what we're going to do is write ourselves a little loop. We're going to write a for loop.
Okay.
And this is slightly confusing when you start programming, but almost all programming languages start counting from 0. So if I want to count, if I want 6 things, right? Watch my hands. I've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? That's how we access things in an array. You don't. The first one is actually called number 0. The second one is called number 1. It's a little bit confusing. but you will get used to it, and you don't have to care why. It doesn't really matter. It's just the way it is. So what we're going to do now is write a for loop. Have either of you written a for loop in C# before?
No.
C#, no.
Actually, I think we did in our random generator testing thing in the Scratchpad. Let's go and have a look in the console app called Scratchpad, which is at the bottom of your screen. Yeah, there you go. You've got it.
Oh yeah, we have.
Oh yeah.
So let's have a look in program.cs, and there's a for loop.
Okay.
So that's counting from 0 to 9, basically. Okay, it's saying while the counter is less than 10, increment the counter and do some work. And that's the bit inside the code block. So let's copy that. And actually, we're going to put it on line 14.
14.
Yeah. And then you want to, on the next line, you want to add an open code block, so the curly brackets. Okay, so the way the loops work is you define the looping mechanism, which is what you've just done, and then you put some code inside that block, and that code will run every time I is less than 10.
Okay.
And actually, we don't want less than 10 this time, we want less than number of dice.
Not capitalized again.
Correct, not capitalized, yeah. Perfect. Okay, and then inside there, we're going to create, actually, we're going to say this.dice .add, and then open earrings, new D6, new space D6. And again, for when we're calling the constructor, we need the earrings for at the end of the D6. There we go, because it's a method. Right, now what I want you to do is put a breakpoint on line 16. So move to the left of the number 16.
Yeah.
And click. Okay, move even more to the left to that little grey vertical bar.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Okay, so if you've never done debugging before, we're about to do some debugging. And the debugger is a tool that allows you to watch the code running line by line. Okay, so let's now go to our DiceShaker test. Okay, and all of these now need updating. Let's pass in 6 to all of these. Yeah, just in, yeah. So in the earrings, put in just 6. All right, so we're just fixing the tests for a moment. They'll probably become redundant soon. We'll need to change them, but for the sake of getting this working. Okay, and I know therefore that your controller's also going to fail. I'll tell you what, actually, go back to your dice shaker. Oh, go on. If you're there, put the 6 in there in that dice controller. Go back to dice controller. I'm sorry.
That's right.
Yeah, put a 6 in there. Cool. Okay, so your code will now build. So what just happened is we updated the constructor to have a parameter, and everywhere else we've used the constructor, we haven't passed in a value. So the code is saying, well, this will never work because you must pass in a value. Because you've just changed the constructor to force a value in. Okay, so if you now go to your DiceShaker tests and, okay, brilliant. Now let's right click on that test, and this time we're going to say debug rather than run.
Okay.
So you'll see it down there, and that will bring up the debugger. Okay, and it's stopped on your breakpoint. So right now I want you to move your mouse over the letter I.
Okay.
Up in line 14, just hover over letter I. All right, so I is currently 0. All right, so we're going to watch the loop operate and learn how to use the debugger. Okay, and now where does this work on your machine here? Oh, up at the top, right on the top toolbar there, you'll see not that one, but the next one, step into.
Okay.
Right, and you watch the highlighted code. Okay, you've started to create a new D6, so now you can carry on stepping into this. So this is the debugger showing you the dice being created. All right, keep hitting that. Next line, next line, next line, good. And now it's going to move back to the DiceShaker. And if you now hover over this .dice, you'll see that there is, oh, and you can drill into that, by the way, with that little arrow. You now can see that the list has got 1 dice in it, all right? So we've just created it. And actually, Fraser, click on the little arrow next to this dice. Sorry, no, on your bit that you've moused over.
Yeah.
There's that little arrow on the left.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, because we're on this, it's showing you now the entire DiceShaker class. But if you now put your mouse over, actually just click elsewhere for a second. Oh yeah, you can drill down there. That's fine. All right. So if you're hovering over this, it shows you the entire DiceShaker. You can drill down into the thing, and there's our first dice, right, in position 0 of the list.
Oh, and then it'll have for each count, it'll have a different one.
It will add another one in, yeah. So let's go another time round that loop. Okay, now hover over the I again. I want you to see that value for I changing. All right, that's what the I++ is doing. It's I++ is short for I equals I plus 1.
Keep on going through.
Yeah, that's it. So now it's creating another D6. So you're going into the constructor again. Okay, and this is where you might. Okay, let's hover over this .dice again and let's see the. Ooh, what's going on there?
Shouldn't have happened.
Oh, it hasn't finished yet. You're still on that line. So what's happened is it's created the dice, and now it's about to pass it into this .add.
Oh, okay. So it's still in the project.
Yeah, it's still in that. It's still in that place. Okay, now it's added it. So you see on line 16, you've actually got 2 lines of code in one there.
Yeah.
So the first thing it does is it creates the dice, and then it adds it in.
Okay.
So if you now hover over this .dice, where is that dice? Come on, let's see. Oh, okay. Maybe actually you need to finish that code block. So hit the next button again. That's it. All right, now mouse over it. That's interesting.
Should I go through again if it's still on that?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Oops. Should I just keep on going through?
Actually, the button to the right will allow you to jump out of that method now and go back. Okay.
Is it 2 now?
Yeah. Okay. So we would expect to see 2 dice in there. So what's going on? Okay. Let's hit the continue button now, or the that middle button up the top. What's that? Oh, okay. Right. It's suddenly caught up. I can't explain as to why that was a bit flaky.
Just a bit slow, maybe?
Yeah, it may be, yeah.
It just jumped from yeah.
Okay, so as you drill down into dice there, brilliant. You've got the 0th, the 1th, and the 2th. The 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd, which starts at 0. All right. And this is one of the reasons we write unit tests, because you're going to find bugs in your understanding of that. Hang on, I've got to count from 0. Yeah, that'll catch you. Okay, so you can now hit the resume button, which is the play button next to, that's it. All right, so you've seen the debugger in action. You've decided you understand what's going on enough, so you hit the little triangle to the left of it, and that will carry on now. But because you've got the breakpoint there, it keeps hitting it and it keeps breaking. So if you click on the breakpoint, that will remove it. There you go. And now hit the play button. Oh, you've left the breakpoint there. Right. Oh, great. And that looks like it's finished. Let's have a look at the test results.
Passed, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so we've added, we want to add 6 dice to it. We've checked that the dice controller, sorry, the dice collection isn't null. Now let's check that because we've passed the number 6 in, we're expecting 6 dice in the pot. So now let's write and assert that there are in fact 6 dice in the pot. So on the next line of 63, so after line 63,
sorry, is this in the same
we'll
test?
add it in the same test, yeah, because what we're really doing here is testing the initialization. So we might rename this method. Assert dot r equal.
Sorry, say that again.
R equal.
R equal.
Yeah. R as in the plural of is.
Oh.
R equal, yeah. Okay, and if you open bracket and pause for a second. Okay, so we want, what we're testing is that the expected value is equal to the actual value. Now we're expecting 6 because that's what we passed in. So put 6 and then comma. The actual value is shaker.dice.count. And count is a method, but oh, is it a method? No, it looks like a property. Cool. So then put a semicolon at the end.
Okay.
Actually, change the R equal to 5. Let's break the fucker. Ooh. Let's have a failing test. So check our understanding. And this time, don't bother hitting debug, just hit run.
Yeah, yeah, it failed.
Great.
Can't really seem to find out where it says why, but we already know why, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Double click it. Yeah, open that up.
Oh yeah, expected 5 after 6.
Yeah. Now, if you double click that line, it'll actually take you to the failing bit of code as well, or at least the failing test, or it should do.
Maybe it's because I'm already there.
Yeah, maybe. Or it might not work on Macs.
Yeah, it does take you to it. I was just already.
Cool. So change that to a 6. Alex, are you keeping up all right, old son?
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent.
I could just take out a.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have a way of adding as many dice as we like.
Passed.
Cool. It seems to me that first dice and second dice are now irrelevant, right? Because we've got 6 dice in the pot, or 2 dice in the pot, or however many we want. So we no longer need first dice and second dice. So let's go and clean up that code. Let's go back to DiceShaker. And let's delete, that initialization, that's good. And delete the public properties on line 20 and 21.
Yep.
Cool. And roll dice now needs to change.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be interesting. Now we're going to write a for each loop.
Okay.
And a for each loop will step through everything in a collection and do something to each item. And actually, we're going to write this in two different ways. Okay. So I want you to take the for next loop that you've got there on line 11 or line 12.
Yeah.
So copy that whole chunk, 12 to 15. So I'm showing you 2 approaches here, and this is me teaching you some C# language. I'm not teaching you something useful for our project. I'm just showing you a bit of C# syntax, right? So in roll dice, I want you to delete line 23 and 24 and replace it with what you just copied. Only this time, instead of doing this.dice.add, actually, right. So let me take a step back. What we're about to do is use a for loop to walk through each dice in the collection and call roll on that dice.
Okay.
Does that make sense? We've got 6 dice, or however many dice there are. We're going to step through the collection and roll each and every one of them. So in here, for I equals 0, and while I is less than the number of dice that are in the collection, so instead of number of dice, you want to change that to this.dice.count. We want, that's okay, that's good. And instead of this.dice.add, we're going to say this.dice, and we want a square bracket this time, and not a dot, actually. Cool. And inside the square bracket, so the square brackets are used to index into the array, right, into the list. So if we put 0, it will always give us the 0th position. But we actually want to use our counter here, so we want I. And then outside the square brackets, we're going to do dot roll. And we want our earrings because it's a method. And you can delete the new D6 bit. Cool.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Can you understand what's going on with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
And you can imagine if I try to explain that in lots of sentences, it's much easier to just read it and go, yep, I get it.
Yeah.
If you ever don't get it, do say. All right, let's that's good. So now we want to yeah, okay, we've really broken this class, haven't we? Look. Okay, so instead of line 31 and 36, let's just return 0 for line 31 and true for line 36. All right, so we'll come back and fix these. All right, so we know that that's bollocks. And we know that if we just put return true or false, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so at least the code will build now.
Yeah.
Except for the unit tests. So what about these tests? We're testing that we can place both dice are rolled. So let's change this to all dice are rolled. So let's gradually fix up these tests. So let's look at line 11. We're going to fix this one to say.
Okay. Guys.
So what do we need to do for this test? We need to do what we're currently doing, but we need to do it to the collection instead of the individual dice. So I'm going to let you have a think. So let's look at that first test again. So in our old code, to test that the dice were rolled, we were saying, oh, set the value to 1. Because there's a good chance that when I roll it, it won't be 1 anymore. So I can check that it's worked. So now, instead of doing the first dice and the second dice, we want to loop through each dice and set their initial values to 1. And then loop through and check that they've all changed. And you now know how to loop through the dice.
With the for loop.
Yeah, so you can go and steal it out of the DiceShaker again. And I would steal, yep, that one's perfectly fine. Oh, actually, don't steal that one. Go and steal roll dice, because that's more useful. Steal the for loop in that.
Okay, so take out this bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, you want to take out, yes, perfect. Only it's not this dot dice anymore, it's shaker dot dice. Oh, sorry, you'll need to get rid of the this because it's this local variable called shaker. Cool. And in the loop in 14, line 14, change that to shaker dot count. Cool. Okay, and we're not rolling the dice, we're going to place them.
Okay, this hasn't.
It's shaker dot dice dot count. Okay, cool. And instead of rolling the dice on line 16, we're going to place each one on line 16.
Oh, sorry.
Yep, no props.
What's instead of roll?
Instead of roll, we're going to place, yeah. And we're going to give it a value of 1. And now what you want to do is have maybe 6 assertions.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you want, do we want another loop? Yeah, you could do. Yeah, let's do another loop where where we have an assertion in it. Okay, so that's it. Copy that. Delete those buggers.
We don't need this 3, do we?
Well, actually, we do want shaker roll dice. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now we want to do shaker dot dice 1. Okay, so what do we want? We want to get the value of dice I. So it's dot current value, is it? Okay, cool. So that's getting us the value. You can delete the 1 in brackets there. There you go. That's it. So we want to turn this into an assertion. So we want assert dot r equal
Inside.
No, actually outside it. So at the beginning of line 21, we want to change it to assert.
Oh, here, sorry.
Yep, no probs. R not equal, actually. And then open brackets. And we want inside the brackets, we want 1. So we want to assert that inside there it's not 1. Sorry, that 1 is the value we're expecting it not to be, and then comma, and then delete that closing bracket. Okay, and then go to the end of the line and tidy up those brackets. So you just need to get rid of the double set, the set inside there. There we go. Cool. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So check that the current dice isn't equal to 1.
Yeah.
And if you were to paste your code back in, you'd go, oh yeah, I see, that's what we were doing before.
Mm-hmm. Will it not fail then because we've placed it at 1?
Well, we've placed it at 1, then we've hit roll. Haven't we? Look, line 18, we then roll the dice, which is going to randomize them. And now we're checking that having rolled the dice on line 18.
Yeah.
You see 18 there? We're actually getting the shaker to roll them all.
Yeah, so I'm just confused with this bit here. Is that placing 1 die and then it's rolling that single die?
No, it's looping around all of the dice and setting all of them to 1.
Okay. Why would you set them if you're just going to roll them?
Because what we want to do is, what we're testing is that when we roll the dice, they actually change from their initial value.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
And there is actually a chance, Fraser, that they will roll and it will roll a 1, in which case our test will fail. And this is the problem with this test. It's a bit shit. But that's because we haven't got the concept of setting a dice to 0. Because 0 isn't a valid value in when we are modeling the real world. Okay, so this is still not going to build because we've still got these other tests which are a bit buggered. Yeah. So now we've got shaker has 2 dice. That test is redundant because we've actually tested that lower down on line 55. Look, we're doing a, sorry, not line 55. When we're initializing, we've already written a test for this bit, so you can delete that one. That's that. We can fix these tests. I'll tell you what, comment out line 26 down to 52. So yeah, select all of that code. That's it. And there should be a way of commenting it in the edit menu. Or for Alex, Control KC. Oh, you've done it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so let's run those two tests and see if they work. And if you want, you can step through it to try and figure out. Actually, I'll leave you stepping through it to your own time. Let's check that those tests are running and passing.
How do you actually run all tests instead of just running a singular?
Go to the test club. Right, go to line 7.
Yeah.
And right click there. If you have a right click, and there you can go run tests. All right, so it's Command T. That will do it for all of the tests in that class. Okay, we've got some build errors.
It's in the roll 2 one, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, excellent. Okay, so you're going to need to, I would just comment out these bits of code for now. So we know we've fundamentally broken the bloody thing, but that's fine. We'll come back and fix that. And the same with that. Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Hopefully that will build. Great.
Yeah. Pass.
Sweet. Okay, so let's reevaluate what other tests we've got and see what we need to fix. So we're testing that it needs to add, we're testing for doubles, and okay, cool. Well, let's fix the first one to start with. So you might as well comment out those last two tests. Sorry, not the last two, those two, yeah. So instead of adding 2 values, what we want to say now is let's add up every value in the dice, right? In the shaker.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So once again, we've got the idea of looping through all the dice in the collection and adding them all up. And actually, look, that's pretty useful, because if you place them all to be 1, then we know that when we've initialized it with 6, the total should be 6, right? 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1.
Okay. What? So is that all right? Just to.
Yeah, but you've got 2 lines of code there, both trying to create the same variable. So you just need to delete one of those.
Oh, what here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You're actually, Fraser, you're learning an absolute shit ton of stuff here without even realizing. Is it feeling less difficult now? Is it starting to bed in a bit?
Yeah, definitely less difficult than the first couple of lessons, because I'm kind of know how to work it and know a little bit more on what's going on.
Cool. And this is the thing, right? Over the period of this project, you will learn a huge amount, and you won't realize half of it. But that's why I want us to keep notes and to talk about these things.
Okay.
Cool. It's expected 0, and why do you think it's expected 0? Our test looks like it's good.
It's expected 6, I think, but it got 0.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense. And why is it going to 0?
Because we haven't added it together.
Well, we've called the adding together. So it must be a problem in the add together code.
Yeah.
All right, let's go and have a look at that then.
Where's that in DiceShaker?
Yes.
I'll return
Actually,
0.
Fraser, go back to the test a sec. here's a little trick. Click on add together, that's it. And then right click,
Mhm.
and you can go to implementation, and that will take you to the exact bit of method.
Oh, that's where we changed it.
Yeah.
0.
Okay. So no wonder it's 0.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you this in English. We want to look at each dice in the collection and keep a running total, and then return the running total.
Okay.
So I'm going to let you guys figure that out in your own time right now.
So you want a running total of each.
Well, yeah, so the first thing we need is a variable to store the total in.
Mhm.
So, on
So I
line,
guess we could,
go
sorry,
on.
we
Go
could
on,
do a for loop or something that adds onto a variable the value for each one, and then returns that value at the end.
Cool. So do you want to dictate the code, Alex?
Sure. I guess if you just copy the for loop from before, yeah.
Mhm.
If you yeah, you want to put the return at the end as well. I'm pretty sure.
Well, after the loop, yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Well, we need to make a new variable, I guess, or
Mhm.
So on line 31, I'm sorry, Alex, I'm butting in.
yeah, that's fine.
No, I'll stop. It's
No, okay.
So how do we define a variable? We need to say its type, which is integer.
Okay.
And then we need to give it a name. Call it total.
Like current total.
Yeah. And because it's a local variable, it should have a lowercase c. You knew I was going to say
Saying that.
And it's when you create a new integer, it defaults to 0, but it's good practice to say equals 0, so that you are definitely and mindfully starting from 0. Cool.
Does that need to be a double equals, or is that
No,
fine?
just a single equals.
Okay. What's the difference between a double and a single equals again?
The double equals is when you're comparing something. So if you say, does A equal B, you'd actually say A double equals B. And that's asking the question, are they equal?
Okay.
Ooh, there's my phone, bear with me.
So I think what we do is maybe this dot current.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just trying to do it at the same time.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, after
In the loop, instead of doing the place thing,
shaker, yeah.
you want to do current total is, I think, maybe itself plus the dice. I'm not sure how you do that in C, whatever this is.
Current total.
I think it'd be this dot current total. I'm not sure though. Maybe.
Yeah. There it is.
That's all right. I'll give you a call back later, okay? All right, see you now. Bye.
Hmm.
So I think I figured it out. You want to do, if you clear line 36.
Yeah.
I think it'd be current total plus equals.
Okay.
this dot dice.
And then the like the notations of the actual words.
The note, yeah, like the symbol equals. This dot dice square brackets I dot current value, and then semicolon, yeah, and then return current total.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Problem with the shaker.
Okay, that's because you've copied the code from the test. So at the moment, we're in the DiceShaker class.
Oh, okay.
You can change that to this dot dice instead of
This
shaker
is
dot dice.
most like how I would do it in Python, so I'm not sure if there's a different or easier way in whatever we're coding in right now.
Well, actually, do you know what? There's probably about 8 ways of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
This is lovely, good, clear, readable programming. So what that's doing there, Fraser, on line 36 plus equals, it's actually, you could write it longhand and say current total equals current total plus. And in fact, I'd like you to do that to make it a bit clearer for yourself.
Could I not add in like one of those?
Yeah, you add it in as a comment, yep.
When I add in a comment, can it can be anywhere, can't it? Or...
Yeah, pretty much.
Isn't it really only at the end of if you're doing it on a line with something else? Have to be at the end.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay. It will work there. So you can change that to current total equals current total plus.
Equals. Current value.
Actually, it's the rest of that statement is fine. This dot dice one,
Oh.
this dot dice I. Yeah, so copy that bit in. Okay, you accidentally pasted in an extra bracket there.
Okay.
Right. So Alex has given you a nice shorter hand version of that statement you've written, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've just got it there for comparison. So in case you ever forget, what the hell does that mean? Oh, it means that.
Okay.
Cool. Does the test run and does it work?
Which one are we on?
Yeah, rename that to adds all values.
Passed, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I may have done something wrong with the other test. The shaker has dice one. It seems to be expecting 5, even though I've told it to expect 6.
Okay, you might need to. Oh, weird. Okay. Do Control Shift B to rebuild everything.
Okay, and then no. Okay, it's worked now.
Okay.
It's strange.
Okay. So what is the logic we want for doubles? I think the logic of knowing that there are doubles is still good logic to have.
Mm-hmm.
And we're moving into Yahtzee territory here. I mean, just knowing that you've rolled a double is cool, I think. And we actually need it for Monopoly. So let me take a step back here. We started with a dice shaker that was perfect for Monopoly. It had 2 dice, it did the maths, and it told us when we had a double. Now, for the sake of learning, right, and this is literally all we've done it for the sake of learning, we've changed the dice shaker so that you've learned how to write loops. We don't need it for Monopoly to have more than 2 dice. but I wanted you to see this, and because part of the homework or a little side project that I would like you to play with in your own time is to work on a Yahtzee game. So as we progress through Monopoly, you can use the same ideas and the same techniques to work on a game of Yahtzee. All right, so you're not always waiting for each other or waiting for me. You've got something you can play with. But for the sake of Monopoly, I want us to still have the doubles logic in there.
Okay.
But Yahtzee, you want the logic to be, hey, are all 5 dice the same? Or are there 3 2s and 2 5s? And all of those different combinations that score points in Yahtzee, you're going to want to model somehow, somewhere. But let's have let's go and fill in our doubles method again. So let's go back to DiceShaker. And at the moment, is double is always true. So now the logic is much more complex. You want to walk through each dice and see if any of the other dice match the dice that you're on.
So we want a loop inside a loop.
Yeah, nasty shizzle. Loops within loops. Oh man, this is a bug waiting to happen right here. This is some hairy coding. Actually, it's really hairy coding. There are easier ways to do this, but it involves more complex learning. But I wonder, this is a good exercise. It's a really good beginner programmer exercise actually, and it's not simple. Oh, sandwich. Thank you, lovey. What is it? Sausage sandwich. Get in.
I think I might know how to do it.
Oh yeah. Sorry, everyone. Okay. Do you want to share it, Alex?
Sure. It's
Yeah.
still a work in progress, though.
Shall I stop sharing so you can share?
Sure. I'm not sure what's wrong with that. So for every value in the dice count, it'll then go through again and see if is the same. I don't know why it doesn't like. Is it supposed to be?
There you go.
There. Gee, then how do you? No, it doesn't want to tell me. Okay.
You want a code block now, don't you?
Yes.
With some logic. On the next line, yeah.
Yep. What did we have it do before? Is it? Would it be return?
Well, we're going to return
Here
true
or-
or false. If it's a double, you return true, and if it's not, you eventually return false.
Would that just go until it finds one double and then stop, or?
It will do, yeah. You'll need your semicolon.
Yes. Also, I've noticed probably what will be a bug or what will come up as an error is it'll just immediately see the first value is the same as itself and then return true.
Excellent. Good
So I'm
spot.
not sure how we would avoid counting that one.
Well, there's a couple of techniques. Right, so you're going to need, well, let's take a step back. So what we're doing, Fraser, is we're stepping through the dice. And when we're on the 0th dice, we're then stepping through all the dice again and saying, in the second loop, is the value equal to the dice that we're looking at in the outer loop?
Okay, yeah, I get that.
Okay, cool. So, and what's happening is we're going to return true if it finds it, but this code, it is possible that you need to have a return false. That's what I'm saying. So when it hits return true, it will exit completely. And if it never hits return true, it must be false. Okay.
However, it's just going to go for the first value and then see that that is the same as the first value in the second loop because it's just looking at the first one again.
Why don't we put a debug on it and watch it happen when we run the test? That will hopefully reveal the answer to you.
Like go there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You'll probably need to debug tests rather than run tests.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think you ran the wrong test.
Oh, did I? Was it?
I don't know.
Which one are we?
That's the one we want, yeah. Adds all values, yeah. Sorry, I might be talking shit.
That's all right.
It was I thought we're testing for a double, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it's the second.
It's just 'cause I haven't. No, yeah. Oh, I haven't changed this bit yet.
Yeah, I did the same actually.
Should I just leave it as place 1 for all of them, or place?
Yeah, makes sense. Place 1. Easy to understand, isn't it?
As place 1, did you say? Okay.
We've got 6 dice. We send each one to 1. We're going to expect 6. Oh, oh no! Wait a minute. We want to. Yeah. Oh no! I beg your pardon. You're right. To test this code, we need to write 2 tests. We need to test that it's false when there aren't any doubles and true when there are doubles.
Okay.
So, actually, what you can do is choose which. All right. So let's arrange the test. What are the values we want for our first test?
I guess having it so that they are doubles.
Okay. In which case that will work, right? Because you set all 6 to 1. So it's going to find a double at some point.
Yep. And then we want one that has it so that there's no.
Well, actually, why don't you set the first dice to 1? Let's check for a double 3. So let's have the first dice as 1, the second dice as 2, the third dice as 3, the fourth dice as 4.
So this should.
I wouldn't bother looping through it.
Okay.
So what you're going to say is shaker.dice1.place.
Okay.
You can get rid of the loop is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Of course, it's the 0th dice is the
Yep.
first one. Yeah. Dot place.
Yeah.
So not equals.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Okay. So now, yeah, configure it somehow that you've got the double that you want, whichever one that is, out of whatever values. Cool. So you've got a double 3.
Mhm.
Excellent.
Okay. Should we run that then, or?
Yeah, run it with a debugger.
Yep.
And in your watch window down the bottom, and Fraser, yours has probably got a watch window somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, you've got the autos window, which is fine. You've got J, and it will add in I when you get there.
Yeah.
Go to the watch window. Sorry, Alex.
This
And,
one.
Yeah, and type I in there, and then J on the next line. Okay. And actually, copy and paste this .dice.current value, this .dice.current value, and put that in the watch window as well. So what we're learning here is a little bit of debugger window skills. Okay. When Fraser was navigating, I had him mouse over the variables that we were interested in.
Mm-hmm.
The watch window will do the same thing for you.
So I'll put that in as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, just no, don't hit the continue button to the right of yours, Alex. Keep going to the right, and to that's the badger. Next one, there.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, and you can also hit F11 to do that if you like, and just hit
Okay.
yes. That's fine. Or no, doesn't matter for that. You can see the values changing now in the watch window every time Alex presses F11. Oh, straight away, you found the bug.
Yes.
When you're looking at the 0th value in the outer loop, it's the same as the 0th value in the inner loop because it's the same dice. So they are the same. So it thinks they're a double.
So now we just need to sort that out, I guess.
Yeah. So what you want to say really is only check it if I and J aren't the same
Yep.
counter value. So
And
you just need an extra if.
yeah.
And so now we're about to learn the syntax for not equals. So if I, and then you
Is
want,
it?
yeah, that's it. Yeah. If I is not equal to J, and then you want that inner, that next if statement inside that code block. There we go. Good. By the way, it will sort out that indenting for you.
Okay.
Mostly when you put the closing bracket in, it'll go, I'll tidy it up.
So that should, I guess we can test it to find out if it does work.
Yeah.
Oh, I took off the thing.
Took off the breakpoint. Okay, you can see the counters changing down the bottom. And the values, so that's nice. Oh, hit no, Alex. There you go, it'll stop warning you about that, that's fine.
Oh, I don't know if that's
Okay, so we're still on the first dice, but now it's checking all the rest of them, right? Now we're on the second dice, are we?
yeah. No, we're on the third one, I think.
And for new developers, this is quite a complex problem. Hey, found.
Yeah, there we go.
And what's it found? It's found that dice number 3
And number
and
4.
dice number 4 are equal.
Mhm.
And because it counts from 0, that means the dice at position number 2, which is our third dice, is equal to our dice at position number 3, which is our fourth dice.
Mhm.
Cool. Okay. Now, Fraser, no amount of talking from me is going to make you understand what's going on there. You're just going to have to
Figure it out for myself.
keep going through round and round that loop till you figure it out. Yeah. But that's great.
Okay.
So the test's going to pass?
I think it did. Yeah, there we go.
All right, hit the continue button. Cool. Yay.
Cool.
Okay, so we know that it passes when there is a double.
Yes.
We know it gives us a true when there is a double. So now let's check that it gives us false when there isn't.
Yes. Okay.
So what I mean by that is let's write another test.
Okay.
And if you look underneath, there's a similar test. It says, are doubles fails when no doubles?
Yes.
Perfect.
So I guess copy
Yeah.
this across. And then change that to 6.
And do we want to assert that it's true?
No.
Cool.
I think that's fine.
Well, let's run it, see if it works.
Do we need to debug it, or should we just?
No, I wouldn't bother. I would just check that
Okay.
it. Oh, you've got the debug still on in there though, so that's all right. Just remove that.
Okay. Or double false when not doubles.
Okay, so now go and break the test to just check. So let's make it a double.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So we know we haven't accidentally got a passing test. We know exactly what's going on here. Cool. Brilliant.
Alex, are you right to quickly go on your DiceShaker again, please? That extra if
Yes.
you
It's-
added, what does it say inside the bracket?
exclamation mark equals J.
Okay.
So that's just saying if I is not equal to J, then it will do this bit.
Is that what exclamation
Yes,
mark
not equals to.
Not equal, okay. That was where I was slipping up then. I just
Okay. And then
give you a moment to catch up with that, Fraser.
And then if it does equal, then it will just skip around to the next J value.
Mm-hmm. Says J does not exist in the current context.
You need to change the part in this loop I changed it from I to J. You may not be able to see that very well.
Yeah, I did. That's in the second for loop, yeah.
Yep, all of the I's in the
Loop.
second one.
Yeah, I did. I changed them to J's. It's weird.
Let's have a look.
I can stop sharing if you want.
Yeah, I'll just quickly run the test again, see if I'm not being an idiot.
Good pair programming skills, lads, by the way.
Thanks.
And it's normal in work to ask for help and to share screens and to do this sort of stuff. And a lot of companies do encourage people to pair program because it means you're quicker and better at coding. And the stronger person helps the weaker person. Oh, look, you've got a semicolon in there. Look, online.
Oh, here. Oh, okay. Is that all that would have caused that? Just a little.
But that's okay. You are actually getting used to writing this syntax out, right? The structure of the commands. You're getting there. So
that's annoying, but it works now. So
no, that's good. That's good. Okay. Let's go back to DiceShaker for a second.
Every time
You've got it open at the top there, yeah.
Yeah, every time the tab pops down, I can't actually select.
Okay, and we're going to make a slight adjustment to roll dice. And what I'm going to do is now, so this morning we've really hammered how to write a for loop. Okay, now I'm going to show you an alternative, which will be useful in. No, screw it. We'll do the same technology in our view. Now we know we commented out our view so that it was, because it was using first dice and second dice. Let's now adjust that so that it shows however many dice you've decided to set up. So back in our roll to view.
Yeah.
Let's change our code here. We're going to write a similar loop and display those similar things. So leaving that code there as reference, let's do a for loop. So starting on line 15 or line 24, doesn't matter, whichever. We want an, ooh, hello. Okay, let's do an at and an open bracket, open curly bracket, a code block. Okay, so this is giving us a code block. So press enter. Right, and now let's type for I equals, oh, okay, so we want our standard sort of syntax. So let's have an open bracket for int I equals 0, semicolon, I is less than model.dice.count. Semicolon, I++. Okay, and then on the next line, we want our open, we want a code block again. So another, there we go. Cool. And we're going to do at model dot dice square bracket I, and then outside that you do dot current value. And then put a semicolon in.
Is it a capital M in the model or lowercase?
Capital M, actually, you're right. There we go. Sweet. So that's going to write out all the value of all the dice. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to cut and paste line 20. Oh, well, you want to uncomment line 26 to line 30 because we've adjusted the code now, and the code will work for adding together and for doubles, right? So that's good. And now you can delete line 24 and 25 because we've used those as a reference. Cool.
So I don't think you need the semicolon at the end of the model part.
No?
I think when we did that before, it just put the semicolon on the end after the number.
Okay. I'm a bit flaky with this razor syntax.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'll just look it up or I'll just figure it out as I go along. Right, which is perfectly good. You don't need to know everything about everything. As part of debugging and development is choosing which bits are important to learn and which bits aren't. And that sort of stuff just comes. Okay, so let's go back to our controller. Roll 2 controller. Sorry, our dice controller. And we've got our roll 2 action. And guess what? For roll 2, we only want to roll 2 dice. So change that from a 6 to a 2. And let's hit play. Let's run the thing and see if we're back to where we were. I know we commented out the pictures of the dice. We'll come back to that. So what's that done? That has read out. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay, that's the scratch pad you're running.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, brilliant. Another cup of tea. Oh, I'm lucky. Nearly done with these lads. Come in. Coffee.
Yeah, it works.
Great. Run it again. We've got 3 and a 1, which add up to 4, 4 and 2, 6, 5. Brilliant. So our functionality is still working, right?
Yeah.
Right. Let's add in the dice image.
The faces, okay.
And once we've added in the dice image, we'll now do something similar for as many dice as we like. And maybe we'll stop it from, maybe we'll add another menu called roll 8 or roll 5 or whatever you like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so similarly, to make this code cut and pasteable, you're going to want another for loop. Okay, we know there's only 2 in this particular one. So maybe we could just uncomment. No, I want to make this roll 2 roll any number.
Okay.
So it's going to work for everything. Okay, let's.
What, another for loop inside roll 2?
Actually, yeah, you can uncomment. You see, you've got a closing div on line 39. Let's uncomment all of that and let's rewrite it.
Is that a closing? That's weird.
Okay. So here's the question. Right, now I know that in Bootstrap you can have up to 12 columns, right? We mentioned this last time.
Mm-hmm.
And I also know in Bootstrap 4 or Bootstrap 5, you don't necessarily have to put that figure in. If you put just div class col and div class col, it would work out that 2 columns they must be 6 each. It would just do the sums itself. So if we just change this to a for loop, which adds in as many columns as there are dice, we can ignore the maths of col 6 and col 2. So long as we've got 12 or less, Bootstrap will take care of it.
Okay.
It will only start looking a bit shite if there's 12. But here's the thing. For this particular page, we're just learning to program and learning some techniques. And as humans, we want it to look nice. But this is just us learning, getting ready for Monopoly. So don't worry, don't beat yourselves up if it looks a bit shite.
Take out all of this bit then.
Actually, leave that line 38 as a nice little reference.
Okay.
Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll just dictate the code. So in our, let's say we want all the dice on the same row.
Mhm.
So inside on line 36, let's have a start of our for loop. And you've got one of those up above. Nice, perfect. And in there, instead of model dice.current value, what you want is div, you want to copy line 45 to line 48. So you just want those first 3 lines there, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. And paste that over line 40. That's it. Actually, get rid of the start of line 40. And don't worry, we'll tidy it up in a sec. So on line 40 there, you've got at model dice square bracket.
Yeah.
Get rid of the beginning of line 40.
What's that? All of that?
No, just the at model dice square bracket. So you want to leave the div bit in there. That's it, cool.
Okay.
And
Getting a little bit lost here. Should I take out this?
yeah, take out that nonsense now because you've got the sample code that you want. And you can probably take out one of those divs, line 49. Yeah. Oh, actually, no, just line 49.
Okay.
Okay. And if you go up to the edit menu and choose format document. Okay, so we are missing a bit of divery goodness, but that's okay. We'll come back to that. So let's not worry too much about tidying up the shape just now. All right, so let's have a look at, you want an at at the beginning of the angle bracket or at colon on line 40. Because what we're saying to the compiler here is we're swapping back to HTML, all right? And then instead of HTML partial model.first dice, you want model.dice square bracket I inside the square brackets. Cool. So now we're saying instead of passing first dice, we're saying pass whichever dice we're currently on. And instead of col6, just change it to col. Okay. Now, I think we need another. Okay, this is a razor issue here. We need another at colon for line 43.
Yeah.
Okay, and we've got an extra closing bracket on line 45 or 46 that we don't need. And then you can finally click on line 50 and do Shift Tab to unindent it. Oh, maybe not. Okay, yeah, you just might want to backspace through
this one.
Actually, go up and do the edit format document again. So there's something a bit shite going on here. So
is the div, the second at div, is that supposed to be a / in it?
Oh, what, this one?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, it does need a
Oh, okay.
You're right. Yeah, good spot. Nice debug skills. Look at that. Sweet. Now, do the format document again, because we might still have one rogue one. Yeah, okay, so scroll up. So we've got a div.
That's closed off.
Oh, hang on. Right, so there's a bit of an issue here. Go back up. So we've got a button there, which is inside a list item. Look, line 11, you've got LI.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be LI. Okay, so we just haven't corrected your code here for this bit. So take the button primary and paste it into the next line. So you see where you've got a class equals
Yeah.
navlink. You want to change navlink and text arc to button primary.
Oh, okay. So just this.
Yeah, cut that out and paste it over the other bit.
Well, and then have this bit.
And then delete line 11 and line 13. So an LI is a list item, so like a bullet points.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's see. So you're going to roll 2. Okay, we've got our open close there, open close there, we've got div. So you've got a div row there on line 35. And why is that line green on the HTML partial? You might be able to get rid of the opening at on line 41.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, the other line 41.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So now you need to put the colon back in there. All right, now I know this is a bit confusing with these ats. All right, put the colon in that. There we go. So, okay, now you need at model.dice.
Okay.
Think, or is it lowercase m?
I think it's
Perfect. Oh no, it's capital. It is capital M. Shit.
I don't know if the the green underline is doing anything because it seems to run.
Does it?
Right, when
yeah,
I've
every
done
time I've had it, it comes up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so what's going on here with this div? We've got an open div row and we've got a closed div for it. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry, we do now need another closing squiggly bracket inside there.
Yeah, I've put it in and it's fixed it.
Great. Whoa, blimey.
Bit of a while. Shall I try running it?
Yeah. Did yours work, Alex?
Yep.
Cool. Ah, still no picture.
No.
Did you get pictures, Alex?
Yeah. It worked fine for me.
Okay. So what's going wrong there? Hover over the green line.
Consider using partial tag.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't worry about that. Okay, so let's run it again.
Oh, if I put an at before the HTML.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, get in. Look at that, you beauty.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, I know we've called it roll 2. Why don't we change the constructor? Sorry, why don't we go back to the controller and change it, not the words, but let's actually give it 5 dice. So go into dice controller. And now change it from a shaker with 2 dice to a shaker with 5, just for the crack. Let's see how that looks.
Oh, cool.
How cool is that?
Hmm.
Yeah.
That is a game of Yahtzee waiting for you to write there for some homework as we progress through the course, right? But I'm mindful that I have to do you a lot of teaching. And every time I help you write the code, you need something to practice to go and learn more, to make your brains ache. But that is cool as you like.
Mm.
And look, you've got a double. And that logic still works because we wrote unit tests that prove the thing works before we consume it. How cool is that? Okay, so here's a little bit of homework for you. You could, on the DiceShaker, or however you want, give an extra message on the screen if you happen to roll 5 of the same.
Okay.
Right, just put up the word Yahtzee. Now,
What are the chances of actually us rolling? That's incredibly unlikely, isn't it?
well, no, not really. You've got 3 6s there.
Yeah, but doesn't it?
I forget how probability works, but you've got a 1 in 6 chance of getting a 6. And on the second dice, you've got a 1 in 6 chance. So it might be in 6 rolls you get a Yahtzee, or it might be 6 times 5, or it
I
might
think
be 6
it's.
times
I
5
think
times 4
six
times 3 times 2.
squared or
I
something.
think it's 1/6 to the power of 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty
Chance. It is quite unlikely, but you do get a lot of doubles and triples, it seems. So
Well, it shouldn't be any more unlikely than it is in real life.
yeah.
Have you ever rolled a quint? What would it be called? Or just a double?
Would it be a pentacle?
Quintin?
I think when I was playing Yahtzee as a kid, I will have inevitably done so. I can't. I mean, it's not a childhood memory. I used to play Yahtzee, but I don't remember. God, do you remember that time I got 5? It just hasn't stuck, but I'm sure it will have happened. Okay, so if you remembered a game of Yahtzee, it's actually, from a software perspective, it's incredibly complex because you've got all the scoring permutations, right? You've got 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, short flush and long flush, was it? Where you've
I've
got
actually never
1,
played
2,
it
3,
before.
or 1, 2, 3, 4, and you've got Yahtzee, and you've got a full house, which is what, a 3 of something and 2 of something. So there's a lot of game rules there, and I was going to say, you know, start writing some more logic on the DiceShaker, but that's the wrong place, right? The shaker rolls a dice, and we've cheated and said, "Oh, it will do some sums for us, and it will tell us if you've got a double." But really, for Yahtzee, that's the game that specifies what scores, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it would perhaps be the wrong place to put that logic on the DiceShaker from a design perspective. Okay, I think that's good enough. You might want to consider renaming it from Roll2 to, I'll tell you what, let's just do the next level shit. Let's add a new dice controller method. So let's go to dice controller, and let's now put, let's just call it, let's copy that method for Roll2. But instead of Roll2, let's call it just roll. And then inside the brackets, I want you to put int on line 34.
Mm-hmm.
Put int number of dice. Okay. And then I want you to put that same parameter name in line 36. So we're going to pass that value into the DiceShaker. Okay, now let's return view shaker, comma. How did we, oh, okay, no, looking at line 24, look, we've said for roll 1, go and use the single view.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to say for role, we've already done all the clever bit of coding. I want you to return the view for role 2. So actually you put it beforehand, sorry, Fraser.
What was it before?
Before shaker, yeah. So you want role 2, but you want it in speech marks. So, and is that the name of the view or is it with a capital R? It probably, it may not matter. You'd actually
no, that's the name of the view, yeah.
It is lowercase r, cool. All
Yeah.
right, so you want a comma, brilliant. All right, and now I want you to run the website. And at the top in the browser, in the address bar, I want you to type dice/.
How do I get this to move away? Dice/.
Yes, dice/roll/3. Oh, it hasn't worked. Okay.
Pressing the button will just go back to the roll
Yeah.
2.
Oh, okay. So let's change it. Let's go and have a look at our. Let's go to looking at our website here. If you is it running or have you stopped it?
Yes, it's running.
Okay, so if you stop that, let's look at. Okay, on the left-hand window there, down in the Solution Explorer, I want you to collapse root. So just
yeah.
good. What I want to do is look at. Let's look at startup.cs. Okay, and cool. Looking at line 53, right? Looking at lines 51, 52, 53. You remember I told you about the controller takes care of deciding where you go?
Yeah.
And this is defaulting to the controller of home, the action of index, and an empty ID. Right. So this is setting up for telling the MVC pattern and the web server how to handle that URL we just typed in. And we typed in a URL with /3 at the end of it. Now, if I change the parameter name to ID instead, that would have worked. So let's go to back to our controller and change it from int number of dice to int ID. And similarly then on line 36, I'm going to pass that value in there. And now let's go and roll the dice. Woohoo!
Yeah, it works.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you type in at the end of the port number, that's it, yeah, /5/roll/ shit the bed. Look what you've done.
Cool.
Cool. Okay, so we've just learned a little bit about routing, a little bit more advanced, and that was really on the fly. Don't worry if you don't understand it. We'll gradually understand it and we'll have a proper lesson on it. But I think that's pretty damn cool. Sweet. Okay, let's leave it there. Well done, chaps. How long have we had? We've done 2 hours and a bit.
Yeah.
2 hours on the dot. Excellent. Let's cancel, stop recording.